Zach here, full-time reseller, and this morning I've made my way down to Albuquerque, New Mexico, which is about 160 miles from my house. My daughter had a gymnastics competition early this morning on the west side. She did really well, but since I'm here, I'm gonna go ahead and spend a few hours thrifting. It is Sunday, so it's hard to say how good the inventory is gonna be, because sometimes on the weekends, Saturday can be kind of harsh on some of these clothing racks at these thrift stores, but I'm gonna go ahead and thrift it hard for a few hours, probably hit a number of different stores on the west side and maybe even go into the Northeast Heights. So follow along, see what I can come up with. Alright, so I'm hoping like last time I was here, I run into a couple Grayson golf shirts, maybe even a couple Rowback. Doesn't matter. Just hoping for something good. So found this Bad Birdie men's polo, and I'm not crazy about orange colorway for men, but this shirt's pretty clean. I wish the price was a little bit less, but it's got a cool print. It's got snakes on it, and I've actually never found a Bad Birdie in the wild, so this is kind of a first, so I'm gonna go ahead and grab it. I found these women's Lululemon running shorts, but they got them way priced up, and I looked them up, and they're just not selling that great. I think Lulu's kind of fallen off. Another Bad Birdie polo. I'm gonna go ahead and grab this guy too. They do have some cool prints on them. So, I'm not having a whole lot of luck here, but I did find the two Bad Birdie shirts, and that might be all I grab. But one thing I'm always trying to do when I thrift big city areas is kind of like what I do at home. I try to look and see what's most available, and in bigger cities there are often more business, more banking, more engineering, so there's a lot of guys dressing up in dress suits and dress shirts. And I said this in the last video, Albuquerque's full of golf courses, so I always find a lot of golf shirts down here. These are things that I may not find as commonly where I live, because where I live is more blue collar, it's more industry, and I just want to give that advice that you should always be thinking about what is available in this area. That'll help you a ton. I keep coming back to that point, but I'm gonna go ahead and cut my losses and blaze out of here to the next thrift store. Just down the road about 10 minutes, and I'm over here at the Goodwill off Eagle Ranch Road. This is a smaller Goodwill store, but I've had some pretty good success the last few times I've stopped here, so I'm gonna keep my fingers crossed and hope for the best. All right, I'm gonna burn through this row of jeans, hoping I can come up with something good. Last time I was here, I found 4 pair of Carhartt ripstop pants. Already sold half of them, so maybe I'll have some luck on this same aisle. Hear no evil, speak no evil, see no evil. All right, I'm gonna have to chalk that one up to a healthy scratch. Nothing in there. Store looked pretty picked over, and that's the nature of picking on a Sunday. Everybody mobs these thrift stores on Saturdays because they're off work, and that's all right though. I'm gonna move on to the next place pretty fast. All right, so I'm back over here on the east side of Albuquerque, and this is the Goodwill off of Holly Avenue. I've been here a couple times and never really found anything to buy, so I'm hoping to turn that around today. So I'm not gonna source this shirt, but you wanna keep an eye out for extra long tails if you're dealing with any Wrangler vintage shirts, and you definitely wanna pick up the ones that are more like twill canvas, the brush poppers that are pearl snaps. Those are heavier and they go for a lot more money. This guy here is just kind of a basic plaid, and some of the pearl snaps have been snapped and broke on it, and I wouldn't buy one like this because it's the lighter downgraded material. I came across this cool quarter zip. It's only $8. I usually can get about upper 20s to mid 30s on these, and it's a good brand. It's gonna need a lint roller. Gonna grab it. I found this creepy little plush, but just as a reminder that death comes to all of us. We all end up in the dirt someday, so I hope you're out there living your dreams. You're pursuing the things you want. You're going after what you deserve, and you're not settling for less. That's my wish for you. This is a pair of Nike all condition gear men's hiking shoes, and I'm not gonna buy these shoes. They're kind of beat up and not worth much, but be on the lookout for all condition gear. I believe it's more their vintage line. I have sold several jackets, some of their base layers, and I've even sold a pair of boots that made some money. Not all of it's worth money, but a lot of it can be, so look it up if you see that ACG emblem. Well, glad to have found one item there, and sometimes that's just the nature of how this is. It's a game of consistency. So I'm gonna race up to the next store, which is not but about 10 minutes away. It is the newest store that I've been to here in Albuquerque. It's the Goodwill that is off Montgomery and Tramway, I believe, or
Yeah, Tramway. So I'm gonna go ahead and race up there. That's the one I've done the best at here in Albuquerque. And then after that, I'm gonna try to get me something to eat. I am starving. And the cool thing about traveling and doing some thrifting is I get to find myself in cool culinary places. Back home, we don't have a whole lot of different ethnic cuisines. So sometimes when I'm down this way, I like to get into some Vietnamese food or just anything I can't find at home. So see what I can't find at the next stop and then grab some chow and we'll keep moving. Thanks for following. If you've made it this far, please hit the like button. Just mobbed up to the Goodwill off of Montgomery and Tramway. This is the store that I've always done the best at the last few trips I've came down. It might just be because it's newer and it's also in a more affluent area of Albuquerque. So always be thinking about where you're sourcing. If you're sourcing in a very hood area, you're probably not gonna find as quality of items, and the people sometimes might be a little rougher and they might be a little bit more rude. So I love this store. It's super clean, it's super nice. It has a little boutique section. Let's hope for the best. Let's go. Starting things off here in the boutique section. I've done pretty good over here. This is where they put the more expensive stuff, but I also get a better return on my investment when I found stuff here. All right, so this is where knowing obscure brands with obscure tags pays off. This is Performance long sleeve base layer. It's Arc'teryx, probably my favorite brand. $5, great price, great product. Found several FR items at this store, but unfortunately the brands just aren't that great. The condition is good, the price is not. So gonna walk. Peeled out of that Goodwill. I probably jinxed myself by talking this store up so much before I walked in, but still super happy to find an Arc'teryx piece. Those are very rare. Those sell quickly for me. I just wish I could have found a little bit more stuff in there, but this store was packed. It is Sunday. Like I said, a lot of thrift stores get hit pretty hard on the weekends, and it is after church hours. So this store was just packed compared to the other few stores I've been to this morning. Not so certain I'm gonna stop and hit any more thrift stores. Gonna have to think about it. I am starving and it's almost 2 o'clock. I do have almost a 3-hour drive home, or at least a 2.5-hour drive. And so gonna have to put some thought into it. But all in all, if I don't hit any more stops, as you can see, it wasn't a bad couple hours of thrifting. It wasn't great either, but I did come up with a few good brands and some things to make my money back off of. And so as you can see, it's just a game of consistency sometimes, and always being on point with your time and how quickly you're moving through the stores. Today I did pretty good with my timing. I just think it was a bad day to come up here and thrift, but I was here anyways for my daughter's get together, her event. So I'm happy about it. Still made some money on the side. Gonna go race off and find something to eat. If you like this video, please hit like, make a comment, or please subscribe. We'll do it again next time. I'm grateful for everybody who's viewed these videos, and especially the new followers. So thank you again.